And I'm not saying when I'm talking about this, I'm not saying that you have to change the world. I'm just saying that you have to change your life. Today, we're going to be talking about how to step into your own personal power. And I'm going to talk about the small decisions that you make, the big decisions that you make, but I'm going to talk about how every single decision that you make in your life is based in either one of two places. Every decision that you make is either based out of fear or it's based out of personal power. So it's either fear or it's power. Those are the two places that you can make decisions from. There are no other places you can make decisions. The problem, though, is that, at least for me, most of my life until I realized this, is that most of my decisions were made out of fear, which is also called scarcity. I was in a scarcity mode. I wasn't raised with a whole lot. I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know anything about growing a business or growing a podcast or growing stuff. And so a lot of my decisions that I've made in my life were based out of fear, even though I felt like I should probably make a different decision. You know, when I look back on my entire life, most of them were made out of fear. And so what I want you to think about for yourself, if you look back on your entire life and all of the things that you've done and all of the decisions that you've made, have they been based out of power, of a place of personal power and stepping into your personal power? Or have they been made from a place of fear, of scarcity? Have they been made from a place of, oh yeah, I won't do this because it costs too much money. I won't invest into myself because it costs more money. I won't start that business because I know it's going to cost me money to do. You know, those are based out of fear. And when we talk about fear, you have to realize that fear is a good thing and fear is also a bad thing, because fear will show you the edge of your comfort zone and show you where you're on the edge of your comfort zone. So if you want to push past it, you continue to keep going. Or fear, if you listen to it, is a bad thing because it will keep you in the exact same place that you're in. And fear was a great thing for our ancestors. It kept them alive 100,000 years ago when they had to be fearful of possibly walking by a bush and a lion being in there. So that fear kept our species alive. But now, today, fear is actually one of the things that holds people back the most. And you may have heard me talk about it. I had a psychedelic journey a few years ago where I really realized that fear is the worst thing in the world, because without fear, if we had no fear, there wouldn't be any wars, there wouldn't be any killings, there wouldn't be people that were looking at people that didn't look like them or act like them and hating them. Fear holds people back from making a true connection and really growing. But also fear holds people back from starting the business that could possibly change the world or cure cancer or be able to change global warming. They're just too fearful of actually taking that step. So if fear were not there, this place could be amazing. This could be a utopia. This could be just an amazing place that we could live in, but fear holds us back. When I look back on my life, a lot of my decisions were made in fear. What I realized is I got to a point in my life where I looked at my life and I didn't have the life that I wanted. I knew that there was more, and I knew that if I wanted to create the life that I wanted to create, I would have to step out of fear. I would feel the fear, but I would have to continue doing it anyways. My decisions were all made to keep me in my comfort zone. At its simplest form, to keep me in the exact same position that I always was in. Why does it come from fear? Because like I said, fear is the thing that kept us alive. But the part that existed in our ancestors 100,000, 200,000 years ago in their brains still exists in our brains today. It's the amygdala. It's this little tiny thing, and that's where all of your fears come from. It keeps you alive. It is a great thing. But when there are nothing to fear about, like lions attacking you or running out of food or running out of water or, a animal attacking your child, when you have all of those gone, your brain still has the amygdala, and that amygdala will then create fears that don't even exist. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had, a moment of silence, and you're sitting around and you're quiet and your brain just immediately goes to fears? It goes to fear-based. It starts making things up that don't even exist. That's what happens, is a brain that you don't pay attention to will automatically go to fear. So how can you stop going to fear in everything that you do? And this is why it's very, very important for you, for me, for all of us, for every single person to become very self-aware. And I wanted you to think about all of the great decisions that have happened in this world, all of the amazing things that have changed the course of history. Think about all of those great decisions. Now I want to ask you a question. How many of those great decisions do you think came from a place of fear? Don't worry, I'll give you a second. How many came from a place of fear? Probably none of them, right? I don't mean fear of death. I don't mean fear of of being attacked. I mean fear of I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should do this instead. I don't think that any great business, any Nobel Prize winner, any of those things came from a place of fear. All of those came from some place of personal power. And these decisions are the decisions that we have that can completely change the course of our lives and the people's lives around us. And